Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special celebratory event, 8 years of the 33rd Regiment. And we are doing Waterloo. And this is a very special event. It's split over several servers, various different phases, all sorts of fantastic stuff going on. And I have a guest with me. I have Mr. FrenchMonk. Hello, French.
Hello, Chad. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to this. We're going to be hopping around multiple servers to try and cover everything that's going on. So there will be a bit of chopping and changing. Try and keep up with it, everyone. But at the moment, we're on the first battle, a siege, essentially. I believe pronounced Huguemont. Is that correct? Because obviously I brought. There we go. I brought French in to actually tell me how to pronunciate. Oh Jesus Christ! How to actually enunciate these words correctly. So
the only reason I'm here, pretty much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no other reason. He's basically. So you can see the guys getting set up by the main square. You can see all these fantastic fellows. A lot of Black Watch in there as well, and of course mass bagpipery, of which we heartily approve. And so they're going to be moving out, moving into all the various defensive positions. And it's looking like they're already starting to fire on the enemy who's approaching now, French.
Yes, we got a very large line of French Grenadiers, it looks like. With the 1st Brigade here, 5016. Nicely done, fellows.
Now, you can see them just getting set up. It looks like they're waiting to move over, and they're going to run as quickly as they can over the top of that sort of entry bridge, trying to avoid the shots, and then get into positions of cover, because obviously that's going to be the real sort of choke point for them, is getting people through that entry point.
Yeah, it's going to be insanely difficult.
Yeah, and you can see them already starting to bunch up, but they're spreading out into all the bushes, left, right, and centre, heading up to the walls as quickly as they can. But you can see the guys in the fort defending as quickly as they can, with quite a lot of bullet fire coming in. Now, there's no artillery in here, so these guys will have to do it the old-fashioned way. Break down the door, go in there and kick Major Bottom. It looks like the French have already lost their flag holder. There we go, the flag's been picked up. And now they've actually made it in majority to the first wall, French.
Yeah. Trying to get up close and personal with these British fellows. See some guys in the French Brigade here, 5060 I believe. Oh no, number 59, trying to cut in on the flank. There's actually an open door here. They might get around the British side. Oh, the British noticed that. Sending in some guys there to reinforce that position.
Yeah, we're just watching them now, and out they come for a surprise attack. There we go, lovely bayonet work coming out as the guys come charging out of the building to try and take down any French reinforcements that may be coming around the corner there. But they're going to be taking fire from the guys in the bushes as well. It might be an opportunity for them to actually move out and get a bit aggressive. But with the amount of firepower that's available to the French out back here, probably wouldn't be advisable. And looking at the British, it looks like they're still defending from the top of the top of the huts. And you can see the number of casualties on the main building. I mean, just bodies all over the roof right now. So the accuracy of the French forces is pretty damn good right now.
Indeed, it's real carnage going on right here, especially on the French side, just taking lots of casualties.
Now, let's see. Anybody hide? Let's check to see if there's anybody hiding in the bushes. Being strategically in one place and all the rest of it.
There's bound to be someone in the bushes. There's always someone in the bushes.
Yeah, there is. We found it. It's Blurdy from the 50cc, currently hiding in the bush. So, it looks like these guys on pushing up towards the building nearby the stone wall. They haven't really been able to make any kind of serious push in towards that wooden door at the front. Most of their attempts seems to have been the attack around the side, which the British are trying to deflect if they possibly can. And you've got another, oh dear, that was another guy taken down as the French come charging around the left side. That flank is going to be a point of weakness, and wow, look at this, coming in French with a massive contingent.
Very true, just pouring into that building there, but well defended by the British over here under the command of the 45th, I believe.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Private Snow and a commanding officer in there as these guys are defending, sticking the muskets in through the windows to try and get any kills they can. Obviously, guys up on the roof as well. A lot of people on the roof trying to offer covering fire, but also makes them susceptible to fire coming in, which is a difficult thing to try and counteract. And still, the French are using this as their point of entry. And look at the bodies. Literally, they are knee-deep in bodies at that front entrance. Poor Frenchmen.
Indeed.
But it's just, it's a choke point. It's always going to be very, very rough. There's a lot of very good bayonetters and meleeers in there as well. And the fire coming in just makes you incredibly susceptible. And as a result of that, the guys are just holding them back. Not really much else you can say on that, as the main doorway. Now, I'm surprised here, French, that they're not actually attacking two directions at once.
Yeah, you would have thought that to be a wise movement to try to outflank the enemy, but instead they've been pretty much focusing on just one position of the of Rougemont, pretty much, which yeah, it's just counterproductive.
Yeah, I think part of it is because that main door is so well defended by the Black Watch and other members of the foot. So, I mean, you know, it means that they can't get in there quick enough to take the door down. So their only point of entry is the side entrance on the left-hand side, right by the toilet. We'll call this the toilet entrance. Is there anyone in the toilet? Is anyone taking a secret poop? No, nobody's taking a secret poop in the middle of the battle, so that's good news.
You made me peek.
So, yeah, I had a peek as well. Now, we've got the 45th doing a good job of defending. And you've got various other people in there as well. We're just checking. The medic's going to be doing a lot of work. Grenadier Kieran Knightley looking very buxom, obviously. Trying to keep everyone as healed up and as non-bleeding as possible. And bear in mind that the defenders, if I'm right in thinking, only have 5 lives available to them. So the French, oh my goodness, look at them. It's like ants. Look at this French. It's incredible.
It's amazing. And it's just as you said, the defenders do have a limited amount of life, so it's in the just in favor of the attacker to just try to kill as many as possible when they do charge and get inside that building.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing some fifing. We heartily approve of fifing, obviously. Look at that, they're attacking the Kazi, the toilet as well. That's just rude. There we go. So, there we go, the fifer's on the toilet, the drummer's on the toilet. So yeah, obviously priorities, what can we say? But oh my goodness, it's literally covered in bodies in this bottom floor. And if you go up the stairwell is equally covered in bodies as well. It looks like they've got a flag up there and they've managed to now get in there, which means that they can actually use that point to engage enemies in the courtyard as well as on the building opposite. So it's going to be an important hold for them, but will they be able to cut down as many of those defenders as possible? Because that's the only way they're going to make it out of that building safely, French.
Indeed, that's the real question. Just try to take down as many as possible, there's no other way of saying. And I still see some Frenchmen trying to break down that main door, which is being guarded by, let's see, one brave Scottish fellow by the name of Mick from the 92nd.
Oh, very good. That's good stuff to see. There's Peckendorf in there as well. And there's Yesilda and Theodore Drecker, all in there trying to defend that main point, that main entry of the fort. Well, it isn't really a fort, it's just a housing complex, I suppose. But would you call this a fort or a farm? I mean, what would you technically call this?
It's difficult to say. It's a complex, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's leave the arguments about architecture till later, when less people are dying. Now, interesting, you can see they're trying to break through the blockade, the earthen and wooden blockade that's on the far left-hand side over the wall. So they've hopped over the top of the wall and they're trying to break their way in. But it's interesting to notice there's not many guys defending that point. There's maybe 1 or 2 in the windows. They risk being killed. Guys on top of the roof are looking for it. And you've got guys moving around the left-hand side to take out the guys on the top of the roof. Look at this nice little ambush. Very nice indeed, French.
Yeah, unbelievable positioning from the British as well. Just all over the rooftops. Just pouring in that fire on the French.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. Oh my goodness, we've got an engineer coming in. I'm wondering if they're going to lay down an explosive box. That would be an interesting turnabout. Because with no cannons, it may be their only way of getting entry. So it would be interesting to see if that's allowed in the game. Because normally, explosive boxes, engineering, all that kind of stuff is banned.
Indeed.
For obvious reasons. Because of trolls and silly people from the 77Y who just blow things up all the time. Based on my experience, yes. So, there is a barricade around the back of the building for a sort of anti-horse barricade. And maybe it looks like they're actually going to try and break through this barricade and in through the back into the main square by the flag. That could be a potentially good policy. What do you reckon, French? What's your thoughts on that?
Could be the weakest link over there on the British defense. They have few men over there, so it's possible. But the French have to act quickly before more British notice their presence.
Yeah, that's going to be the danger for them, because you're going to see, look at you can already see English rotating around to defend that wall. You've got them jumping down to melee them directly to try and take them out. And that's exactly what's occurred right now. As I think it is the NR-59, Mac Major, doing a good job of meleeing and under fire at the same time. Fantastic.
Chad, we have an amazing maneuver going on by the 56C, just walking over the wall on top of the rooftop. And just trying to outflank the British just next to the flag. Insane.
Wow. See if I can find them. Yeah, there's definitely some dastardly stuff going on. Let's have to see if we can find out what's going on as we move here. Find the 92nd. Uh-oh, this could be unfortunate for Dark Sorrow. Around the back. He's under attack from a couple of Black Watch. Gets into the melee and gets brutally murdered. And you can see, yeah, I can see what you mean, going along the wall, up onto the top of the building, so that they can engage the enemy on the left-hand side, on the top of that building opposite. Yeah, that could be a that's a very shrewd move, isn't it, French?
It is. Very risky as well.
Yeah, as Eccles just proved, getting shot in the face as soon as he stuck his head over the top. But the thing is, also, you've then got English on the top of the building immediately to its right, which could be another position, which if they get enough French people in, they could get forces up onto the right-hand roof and onto the side roof, and that means they could pour a massive amount of fire down into the main square, French.
Indeed, and it seems what we dreaded has actually happened with French over on that assault. One more British just defending that position, and there's no way of getting in.
They have broken the doors down, though. That's a good sign as far as they're concerned. But you can see now, as far as we can tell, just the numbers have waned off. So the French have repurposed their forces and their attention elsewhere in the defence. And I think this seems to be this rooftop duel that they've got going on.
Indeed.
Seems to be the main focus of the members of the 56E. So, good to see those guys. Oh, God, this guy on the top of the roof, he died very quickly. Now, you notice also the French have managed to... the French have lost one of their flags. 92nd have come in and grabbed it.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
But that, God, can you imagine being a medic in this situation, running around bandaging people, putting things back together? Just madness when you think about it. And I always find this kind of thing a rather sobering experience when you think about the people who actually had to do it for real.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness, look at this entrance on the back into the main courtyard, the doorway. It's literally knee-deep in dead Frenchmen. And that's, as far as the Brits are concerned, obviously that's a good thing. As far as the French are concerned, it's less than grateful for that. So, but look, now they're starting to bring around reinforcements to that back entrance, and they might be able to start pushing in towards the flag, but I'm seeing a lot of defence from the British now starting to repurpose themselves there, French.
Indeed. Very much a tactic here going on by the French, trying to assault this back door here, and at the same time using that tactic on the roof over there to outflank and just outrange the British over there on the ground. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Maybe it'll succeed. They have 1 minute, 7 seconds to prove that this tactic
they can get in there. The only thing is, the only thing I will say is I'm surprised that the French, once they got on the roof, they're all staying there. I'm surprised more of the French haven't moved round to the right and a bit further to the right so they can shoot down into the main square from multiple directions. But in come a couple of flag holders to the back entrance. If you pardon the expression, but yeah, it's looking pretty oh my goodness, look at that melee going on by the back door. That is just insane. Mass murder occurring. And they haven't really got anywhere near the flag right now. So the defense, they got a few sort of scattering of defensive people in certain locations. They've jumped off the top of the roof, so the French have the advantage of that roof now. And the British are moving back to defend the main flag by the looks of it, because of the pressure that's being put on from the back door here, French.
Indeed, the French says, yeah, they've got to work with one major push with only seconds left.
Oh my goodness, yeah, here they come. Look at this. Oh, look at that surprise attack. It's a surprise attack where he jumped down on top of him and unfortunately then got murdered as soon as he moved in. So that was a good first round there, French. Good first round.
History repeated itself. Hougoumont did not fall to the French.
We'll move on to the next round. Welcome everybody. We are back with the next stage, and in this lap now, I've been told this is a farmhouse, French, which is unusual considering the tower.
Indeed, the farmhouse of PAPELOTTE. So very
nice.
unusual tower over there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like chapel as part of it, but don't expect to see that in a lot of farmhouses. Anyway, the British are on top of the roof again, and the French are attacking in force. Holy crap, look at this lot. They are just charging in mass numbers, moving forward very quickly. Somebody just threw a bottle from the roof. So obviously they've started drinking already in the fort. And look at that firepower coming in. The Brits on top of the roof, making themselves a little bit conspicuous and prone to getting shot. And the French didn't lose too many people on that charge in. So that's looking quite positive as far as they're concerned. And I think they're going to start maybe trying to break down some of the doors, which is exactly what's happening. As the teams are breaking, the French are breaking down that main door that will take them into what looks like it's where the beer is. But obviously, I'm not sure where they go from here. Ah, here we go. There's a man waiting on the other side with a gun, as you kind of expect for a battle. And there are guys on top who can shoot down onto the top of the entry point here. And that's exactly what's going to happen, French, as they're now charging through the building.
Indeed, very good start from the French, as you said, that advance just quickly holding on to that wall, just destroying any of the doors there, and they're inside. They're pretty much around the corner now.
Yeah, and they've got some defenses on their route in, and they can sort of go straight through, and they're starting to actually make a push round the side here to one of the doors. We'll call it the Kazi door. The Kazi is there still. That's a toilet, by the way, for those of you who are not familiar with the slang term.
Like me.
Yes, Kazi, another slang term for toilet. Now, oh goodness me, it's another doorway now. If we go past the Kazi, obviously you've got the stone wall with the world of cabbages behind it, and also, I'm not sure what these other things are. They're not melons, they're pumpkins, I suppose. They're just not ripe. And the Brits have another entry, which is very well barricaded in that sort of corner of the building, nearby the cabbages. So I would say that that's literally no chance of entry for the French. The French are going to have to find their way through past the Kazi door and get in through that entrance. That's going to be the only way they're going to be able to make it through. However, there is a ramp up on the right-hand side of the building where they can get inside one of the buildings and shoot down onto the main square where the defenders are defending the flag, French.
Indeed. Their advance has been very successful, but as you said, they're just, it's another bottleneck situation going on here. And they just gotta push through. Just gotta get as many British defenders with you as possible.
Oh god, look at this entry into the main square. The doors are being breached here by the French. You've gotta feel bad for any Frenchmen coming through that door. Oh goodness me, look at that. Oh dear. Look at the French. Now the French are in the main square. They're coming in with the bayonets. And this is, oh, they managed to grab a flag, keep the flag out. The bottles are being thrown all over the place.
Indeed.
This is pretty impressive, I have to say, but they don't have a lot of Frenchmen coming through yet. So maybe the French are not aware that that's a weak point or a point of entry. Well, I don't know though. They're starting to flow in pretty serious numbers, I think, French.
Indeed, we have on multiple positions here, some good old bayonet v bayonet action going on. So yeah, it's just a matter of time before these French are able to exploit these weaknesses.
I love the fact that they're throwing bombs. It just makes me laugh.
It almost
like,
makes you think like you're, yeah, like they're out of ammo or something.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, yeah. Yeah, it's just a historical context, but, you know, it just... Yeah, like, yeah. It's like, I've run out of alcohol, now I'm going to throw the bottle at you. So the numbers here, they are really suffering. The French can't really go through here unless they clear out the numbers that are defending it. But you've got so many Brits who are literally just looking at that point. Now, up on the top here, we're looking at Sergeant of 32nd, keeping an eye out for the French who are coming through the right-hand square, and also defending that main entrance. Now, look at this. The French have actually gone for this very, very well barricaded entrance on the left-hand side by the cabbage patch. And it looks like they're slowly making their way through. So this could be another point of entry for the French.
Could very well be the case. Again, British have some a really good foothold here. Thanks
There's
to
somebody in the toilet.
Oh, is there?
Yes.
Wait, I've got to find the toilet now. Wait a second. Is it outside again? Oh, here it is.
A man with a face that only a mother could love. Looks like he's been hit in the face with a shovel.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying French before I so rudely interrupted.
Well, the British defense, good foothold because of mainly because of their defensive structures. I mean, you got this nice palisade, or what is it, palisade structure going on here around the flag. It's just excellent, excellent. Just a dream, a wet dream for a defender.
Yeah, I can see how that would be the case. I mean, obviously you've got combinations of the solid woodwork, you know, also the upturned cart. I couldn't think of the word for a second there, but and obviously the boxes to give them a bit of elevated distance so they can shoot over the top into the entrance. Now, the French are kind of stalled now, and that's going to be a problem for them. But if they can wipe out enough people, then they'll be on a good position to actually move in because they're not going to be limited by spawns. But right now, I would say the initiative is with the British, as the French attack has stalled somewhat. What's your thoughts, French?
Indeed, it's always the case with these siege modes. Just try to take as many defenders with you as possible. Now we've got a huge French attack on the main square, trying to break through. There's a lot of bayonet action going on here.
Blimey.
Chaos.
Oh crap, that's a serious amount of bayoneting. Yeah, that's pretty serious. But look at the Brits, the reinforcements that came charging in to support them. And that's going to be a serious situation for the French. Maybe they might actually start getting a bit aggressive. That's exactly what the Brits are doing. They're getting very aggressive. Oh, the man on the cars is in trouble. Oh, there we go. He's now dead. But he managed to force the team kill of Colonel Spoons. So I'd call that a victory.
With the admin down there.
Yeah, the battle of the admin toilet. Now, let's see. This is, I think, a good move by the French, getting very aggressive, pushing out of the fort, and actually pushing back against the British, as now the Brits are on the back foot. Quite seriously, I would say. However, the entrance by the cabbage patch is still being pushed by the French, not in high numbers, but they're still trying to sort of give them a little bit of grief on the left side. I think, generally speaking, it's a little bit of a standoff at the moment. The French have lost the sudden sort of power of that massive push they just did. And now I'm feeling the fact that they might need to regroup, to do that mass sort of charge again and overwhelm them with sheer weight of numbers and bayonets.
Indeed, that's the only way to win these kind of situations. Just reorganize, regroup, and get back in there.
Yeah, because, you know, it's just... You can only shoot, because of the speed at which you shoot the bullets, you know? It means that you're only limited to how many people you can kill. So it's just a matter of whether or not you can get the advantage. Now, interesting enough, you also got the fact of the regiments will need to reform and regroup when they respawn. So the 1st Brigade, 56th, and the NR 59, they're all moving out. Got another line here of the 14E. Who's this fellow at the back? Another member, there's Hyro. So we've got another reinforcements French line coming in from 2 directions. It'll be interesting to see what option they go for. Don't think they can break down the barricade underneath the main square, can they? I don't think they can. I don't think there's... Oh no, there is an entrance in there. They could potentially... Well, there is an entrance. Yeah, there's an entrance on the other side at the bottom of the tower. Or whether or not they could break through those boxes, I don't know. I don't know if that's a possibility. But let's have a look around here. As we've got more French over by the cabbage patch. Still trying to attack, but being held back by a determined defence of Black Watchmen and other rabid Scotsmen. While in the main square, the French push has been somewhat, I would say, neutralised. And now the... Oh goodness me, there's a body falls from the ceiling. And it looks like the French now will have to regroup and literally attack in a lot of force in order to overcome them.
Which it
in the
seems
remaining
like
5
they're doing
minutes.
right now, Chad.
Oh, really?
They've heard your wisdom and tactics, and they're just doing an all mass charge pretty much through that same building around the corner, just going for that little door at the end again.
All about the tic-tacs.
All about tic-tacs indeed.
So here we go, let's follow them in as they go charging in. Oh look, and some of the Brits are still getting out there and poking them with the bayonets. As we're inside the building watching the melee combat going on. There's a flag holder in there, the flag's been placed down. And they're picking up bayonets, dead almost immediately as soon as he gets to that doorway. That's the problem, is the fact that the Brits have got a really good defensive position there. Like, choke point for them is really nasty for the French. As soon as they come out that door, they just engage with a mass of bullets and bayonets. And it's really something that's very difficult for them to break the back of French.
Indeed, you got a 60-70% casualties on the French just by the sheer amount of firepower already. And then to just, yeah, find yourself in a 1v4, 5 even, it's just hard.
It's rough. It's very rough. And obviously, you know, I mean, yeah, we've been playing things like Bannerlord and stuff like that recently, and even, yeah, 1v2 situations is very difficult, but I can imagine in Warband it's even worse because of the speed of the combat is significantly different with the likes of Bannerlord. But, yeah, as I found out to my cost on more than one occasion, and it looks like we got another French push in through the main building. Down towards the Kazi entrance. Oh, goodness me, look at that. Who's that man leading the charge? Birdvieb from the 14th. And a fine kill into one of the enemy on the top of the roof. And look at this. Is he going to lead the charge in? Oh, here he goes. Look at this. He's the first one out. That's what you call a leader, boys and girls. That's how you lead by example. And he's in there with a bayonet and doing some wonderful murdering. And look at that. Oh, he's then felled by a bullet from one of the roofman defenders. But look at this, the French push coming through. The British almost immediately are circling around to try and defend, get in there with the melee combat. Wow, this is pretty intense. And it also, bear in mind that the numbers of the British defenders are being pared down slowly with only 5 lives.
Yeah, every kill for the French side is a kill towards victory. But the question is, as always, is there enough time?
Yeah, 2 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock. It's touch and go. I mean, look at the number of bodies there. Just by that entrance, that's just ridiculous. And there's just more still coming in. It's like an never-ending supply of Frenchmen. Well, within limits, obviously. Got to grow new Frenchmen in order to send them in. And here we go. The next crop of Frenchmen is arriving. Oh my goodness, look at this. They're coming to the Kazi entrance. This is going to be brutal, French.
Indeed, we got some British already anticipating that assault. waiting on top of the rooftops.
I'm having trouble getting into the building.
Same here. It's a really small place.
Yeah.
To get into there.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. And you've got guys jumping down, British jumping down from the roof to engage in the melee as well. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is insane. But look at it. The French, this is the furthest the French have made through this defensive position thus far. But the Brits are coming in quite substantial numbers. There's just a massive line of pointy things and using them to stab mercilessly at any Frenchman who appears. And yeah, that was I think the last hurrah for the French, as far as we're concerned, because they're obviously going to respawn, but with 1 minute left on the clock, I don't think they're going to be able to make it to the centre flag in time to capture it. There's still some forces making their way forward, but not enough, I don't think, to make a serious difference.
Indeed.
As Ukima, sergeant of the 32nd, has now snuck in behind the Frenchmen to ambush them from behind. And I think it's going to be all she wrote there, French.
Yeah, it might as well be. 40 seconds left on the clock, and we still have a lot of British soldiers left. But look at the carnage on this field, just next to the flag. There's so many bayonets on the ground, so many
Jesus.
fallen men here. Absolute insanity.
Yeah, it's brutal. Can you imagine being the farm lady who has to then clear all this up? I mean, that's a lot of sweeping that's going to be...
I don't want to be
Yeah, it's just going to be a lot of raking. A lot of raking will need to be done. And there we go. Epic final charge. Look at this. And there you go. The Brits have defended the fort. There was a couple of moments where I thought the French were going to just overwhelm them. But it was a damn good defense. A really, really difficult attack for them, I think, for the French.
Indeed, very well defended by the British, and a valiant attempt by the French to capture this farmhouse.
Indeed, indeed. And we're on to the next round. Hurrah! Hello, everyone. We're back, and it is a battle. Yes. Cannoneers to the left of them, cannoneers to the right of them. And we are on a mass battle as part of these celebrations of 8 years. And French, can you tell us a little bit more about what we're about to see?
If
Putting you on the spot.
If I'm not mistaken, this should be the Union Brigade cavalry attack, or counter-attack I should say, on the French offensive. So that's why we see a lot of nice looking gentlemen here on horseback.
Indeed, yes. Plenty of clippy-clops waiting for the off. Lots of cannons. I'm noticing mostly cannons, no howitzers. So, be interesting to see. It's going to be brutal, obviously, as you can imagine. Now, what do you think about tactics on this? Would it be a case of you fire the cannons first and then wait for what's left for the French lancers to then come in and mop up? Or do you think it's something that would be done slightly different?
I would have preferred a like nice round shot to start off with, and considering the length, or like the battlefield is so stretched, they still have a way to go, the British cavalry, so they might get the second reload in with canister.
Yeah,
it'll be difficult though, but if they do get the canister off, that might rack up a few kills.
Yeah, that could be quite intense actually, especially if they're going to do that. Oh, seriously? Wow. Okay. And it looks like the British cavalry are starting to advance. Looking fine in their dragoons, and not difficult to miss them when they're all dressed in bright red, really, is it? And look at this, the cannons from the fort. Oh my oh my goodness, whoa! Look at that, that's insane. The charge begins, and this has already claimed quite a number of people, French.
Indeed, very rough start for the British cavalry. Ooh. Looks painful.
does. It does very much so. But now, obviously, is the rush to try and load up another cannon, like you're saying, the canister shot or something else. Try and get the kills before they get jumped. And it looks like a couple of them have managed them. There's a canister shot. As at the same time there, as soon as they charge in, the lancers appear from the right side and get involved to support the cavalry. Or sorry, support the cannoneers. We're looking at Adam Fraser from the 92nd. Currently being diddled by a lance. He's fighting for his life as obviously... There's going to be a lot of horse crashes going on as well. But we look at the back here. Yeah, I'm just looking at the cavalry or the artillery trains. Back. And... yeah, I mean... obviously lancers designed to go up against the horses, giving him an advantage. The dragoon's going to have that very long sword to give him that extra reach off the horseback. It'll be very important. I mean, it's... look at the numbers. 33 versus 34. It's very equal right now, French.
It is. Unlike the, I believe, historical related event, where the British cavalry was blown out, just stretching far across the battlefield and just, yeah, being relentlessly pursued by French lancers. But here it's quite even.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because Napoleon started off as a artillery general or artillery commander, so really cannons was his bag. So you kind of would expect, sort of historically, you know, for him to be an absolute beast with the cannons and arrange them for the right sort of crossfire and all the rest of it to do the mass damage that would be required. So obviously there are limits to what you can reproduce in a game, but still...
Indeed.
it gives you a good appreciation. I mean, I'm surprised actually that what they could have done, another option, is they could have alternated it. So one group of cannons, so one cannon has shot, one cannon has canister, and then you alternate it. So one set of cannons fires for long distance, another set of cannons fires up close.
Yeah.
Even though you're halving the amount of cannons available, you have two options, one for long distance and one for short. So, yeah, just a thought. Could be another way of doing it, but you know what it's like. It's easier to say.
It is easier said than done, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's Maxi who's getting off, and no, he's not. Oh god, there's Maxi riding around with one of those, plunger sticks you use for the artillery. Not sure what he's looking to kill with it, but looks like one of those Johnson baby buds you used to clean your ears out with.
Yeah, and I keep saying this, but just 8 years that people have been playing this game, it is absolutely amazing to see so many players still playing it. And
so many servers out there available as well, and people playing still every single day. Absolutely amazing. And wow, that round. That was a pretty fast round, I have to say.
Indeed. Cav on cav action.
Yes, definitely. We should move on to the next round. Hello everyone, welcome back again. And we're on to the next stage of these battles. Now, French. This looks like a church to me. Call me old-fashioned. I can spot them.
It does look like a church, yeah.
Where are we? What are we doing? Who are we? What's going on?
Well, Chad, this is supposedly the lovely village of PLANCENOIT. And the British, or actually normally the Prussian brigade should be taking in on this village. And we got the Imperial Young Guard of Napoleon sent to retake it, but it's kind of like a defense going on here.
Yeah, I've noticed that there's a lot of barricades that have been placed up to sort of block off those important places. And the British have sort of come up against one of those barricades now. Now, obviously, they're bypassing it, trying to go through the buildings. And it's going to be... yeah, they're going to be breaking down some of the doors so they can make a charge in towards the location. Major segments failed already as the Brits come charging out of the room. Up towards the French defensive position. And these guys, they're going to be behind, obviously, plenty of solid... oh, goodness me. plenty of solid cover behind these rock walls. Look at him going straight in the centre there. Who is that? That was fantastic. He got murdered absolutely brutally. Yeah, that was a really spirited attempt by the British to get in through the front. Oh my goodness, it's Colonel Spoons. It's Colonel Spoons versus the entire French army. This may not go well. He's looking for a sneaky stab over the top of the wall. It's possibly may get shot in the face. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there he goes.
Dash one Spoons. It was a valiant attempt by Mr. Spoons, but sadly it was not to be.
Yeah, he survived pretty long, actually.
Yeah, that was some pretty good dodging right there. Now, what's going on over here with Star Clash from the NR-59, who appears to be strategically hiding, or I would say strategically staying in one place, behind lots of relatively good cover. And Cedric is dead again already. Wow, the man's literally a bullet magnet right now. And I think it's because of the defensive positions in the buildings overlooking their entrance. So it means that it's a difficult run for them. They've got to run the gauntlet. And they're making their way through the white buildings, and they're coming out now. Oh, the flag holder is felled. Goodness me, this is a brutal run for these guys, having to run up a hill and then make an attack onto the French forces. And look at this, the engineers are putting barricades to try and make their entry as difficult as possible. They put literally every obstacle they can in place to stop making the egress into the area as difficult as possible. And that's pretty good tactic, I'd say, French.
It's absolutely brutal. Some of the British attackers actually trying to jump over the wall, and I see some of them even blocking. That's just guts.
Yeah. Now look at this. The engineer. So this is NAU number 9. Is putting anti-cavalry spikes around the flag. That's smart thinking. I'm impressed. And he's literally just, because at the end of the day, they just have to hold it. It's got to be time, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? The longer that they can hold them up and stop them getting over to the flag, the better. So from his point of view, that's a good move.
Indeed.
And from the British point of view, there we go. The jack has been stolen. As the Brits, now I have a suspicion Brits really need to find a different route through these buildings, because at the moment they're only coming in through one direction. Oh, correction, they've just found another one, and they're checking upstairs in the building, and the defensive positions, there's 3 or 4 Frenchmen who are holed up here, shooting any Brit who comes up the stairwell. And the windows are being broken, and the British, I would say, are in a difficult position. French, look at this. They're just not firing. I have to say oh, okay, maybe 1 or 2. But what's the word I'm looking for? Look at them all stand up together. That is
lovely volley.
That is beautiful. That is literally, what's the word I'm looking for? Shot control, I suppose you could say, and just the drilling of that, and the telling everyone to hold fire until you can get the mass amount of casualties.
The 14E guys actually making it very rough for the British. As you said, they got that defensive position in the building. I think the best move for the British is to just gain control of that building just first, before you commence any assault.
Are you talking about the red building looking?
Yeah, the building, the red brick building, controlled by the 14E.
Yeah,
they should
because
clear that out.
If they can clear that out, then that means they'll be in a position to fire down onto the main square of the church, and that means they can actually start clearing out some of the French defenders, because right now, I'd say the French defenders have the definitive advantage as far as we're concerned.
Very much
now,
so.
It looks like they're getting some more defenders, or I should say attackers, Brits, into the buildings. Still some fire coming in. More Brits reinforcements making a rush through.
A little bit of a war crime going on here. Someone of the British officers surrendering and just gets gutted with the bayonet.
Yeah, no quarter asked or given, I suppose.
No Geneva Convention here.
Well, I don't know. Was the Geneva Convention done in time for this, for the Napoleonic Wars? It may have been after, I think. I'm not sure. I think the Geneva Convention might have been sort of 1915, maybe 1916, something like that. I'm not sure. It may not have been in time. It may not have been around in the Napoleonic War era. I'm not 100% certain. I'm sure someone will fact check us on that. So, it's pretty much a pretty brutal standoff, really. The French are just trying to defend themselves as best they can. As one man jumps in and gets brutally murdered very quickly. I think that was Major Cedric again. But look at this. They've managed to take down the spiky defense at the front of the church. Look at the defense around the flag. Look at that defense around the flag, French.
Talk about impenetrable.
Sorry, say that again in English, mate.
Talk about impenetrable, yeah.
There we go, there we go. We got there in the... Oh, I shouldn't mock him, really. It's not fair. Especially as I can hardly speak any other language other than English, and sometimes not even then. But, all part of the fun. Right. There we go. Oh, there we go. It says we're going to reduce lives by 1 and time by 2 minutes. They're a bit behind, so they obviously want to keep up and keep everything in sync. And so the French are waiting, all loaded. Oh, premature shot. That's the thing. I don't know why they're shooting at the enemy as they run around the barricade. They really want to open fire as soon as they're visible to everybody.
Yeah.
Which will occur soon, any minute. Here we go.
Oh, we got someone surrendering as well.
And look at the Brits dodging left and right, making their way up to the wall and taking down some of the Frenchmen, leaning over the wall. Now, this is another thing that's interesting. The barricade makes it slightly, well, the dirt. What do you call those? The dirt. There's no encampments, but the dirt mounds make it easier to get over the wall and actually into the field. Now, there we go. Looks like, oh dear. Turkish Panda brutally murdered as he tried to take down the barricades and the dirt walls. But a couple of men made it inside, but not very far. Oh, look at that, sneaky. There was Major Cedric poking people over the top of the wall with his bayonet, only to then get suddenly shot in the face. So, 4 minutes. And right now, I don't think the Brits have actually managed to make a serious sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Dent.
A serious dent. That's the word, yes. Thank you. Thank you for helping me find the English.
You're welcome,
the irony of my statements earlier has come back to haunt me. But yeah, basically, it's just they haven't really made any kind of serious dent into those defences. And with 4 minutes left on the clock, I think it's very unlikely they're going to manage it. Even though, if you look at the numbers against the wall, it's been pared back quite significantly. Definitely on the right-hand side.
Yes, it does. And especially with the tactic that the British are currently using, it's not going to fare well to them. They're not doing much damage from that building as they'd like to have hoped.
Yes. Yeah. And meanwhile, flag defense central. Good God, look at this. Fine work by NAO number 9, I have to say. Fantastic work. Everything about this flag says sod off, really, doesn't it?
Pretty much it does, yeah.
Oh dear. We'll have to rename this the Church of Sod Off. There we go. Now, the trouble is, obviously, the guys who are in the building trying to offer some fire back means that they're not pushing forward. Why is there a horse? There was a horse in here somewhere, but it doesn't matter. He just got murdered. We got a horse on the roof now.
A horse on the roof?
Yeah, Romeo from the 6E Hussars, currently over by one of the cabbage patch and areas, on a horse on the roof. So, probably may become a cropper. Now he's walking along the wall. Yeah, very strange. So, yeah, it's a lot of strangeness going on right now.
Yeah, we got the British queuing for the toilet. Chad.
Oh, really?
A lot of them, actually.
Oh, crikey.
There's a lot of them in the toilet as well.
Really? Where is the Kazi? I haven't managed to find it.
It's just across the bridge to the right.
Okay.
You can't miss it. There's a lot of British around that toilet. Just on the outskirts of the city.
Aha, yes. There's a fight in the toilet. There's actually a fight in the toilet. Oh my god. What is going on here?
Oh boy.
This is why I love the Napoleonic Wars community. They're such a bunch of numpties sometimes, they really are. When stuff like that happens. Oh dear.
And it doesn't come with any surprise that the French managed to defend their flank successfully.
No, it comes as no surprise at all.
This is beautiful.
Oh, I wish I could record it, mate. Oh wow, this is... Oh my goodness. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, celebration of 8 years of the existence of the 33rd Regiment. And you can see here some of the fine people who have taken part in this event. Many, many people who make these events absolutely brilliantly fun. And French is on the French server, funnily enough. And he's seeing pretty much the same thing. Look at that. Look at these fellows, don't they look amazing? Obviously aside from the dead horse. I have to keep zooming back because I can't fit them all in.
It's the same on this side, Chad. We got some lovely formations here by the French. Forming up one column, supported by cavalry.
Oh wow. Be sure to take a screenshot. I love it. I think it's so fantastic. The game that's still going after all these years, still played daily by so many different regiments. And, you know, obviously, testament to the 33rd for being still existing after 8 years. That's a pretty serious accomplishment in Napoleonic Wars and Warband in general. It's quite impressive. Oh god, they're doing a Mexican wave. Oh dear.
Righty, I believe that concludes the French part. I believe the admin is going to go come over to the, oh my god, to the English side.
Has it just degenerated into a mass team killing session?
It has, Chad.
That's always happens in Napoleonic Wars. The warm-up is always a mass brutal team killing. Just happens every single time. It just completely degenerates every single time. It's brilliant. To be honest, I'd love to see them drop all their weapons, just have a mass punch-up. That would be funny.
So there we have it, the French regiment signing off.
Fantastic.
And then naturally, to make this more interesting for you guys, I'm not going to show the UK side, which I may very well could do, but I'm going to direct you to Chad's video, if you want to see his perspective.
Oh yes. Oh goodness me. Nice volley of fire coming in from the guys. They've got horses in behind the guys. Obviously standing 2 rows. Front row kneeling. And it's a massive long line. I mean, I'm about 50 feet back from the line to make sure I get everybody into the frame.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So many players that you can't even fit them on the screen.
Yeah. All firing off their weapons in celebration. So a definite happy birthday to... And there's the team killing. Yeah, there's the team killing.
As
Or
expected.
literally, all the cavalrymen committed suicide, fell off their horses. And here is the obvious celebrationary team killing that always occurs in Napoleonic Wars, because they're all a bunch of complete numpties. But we love them, really. Fantastic.
Fantastic event, and obviously fantastic organization, especially due to the sheer size of this event. It's
Yeah,
well
very
executed.
very ambitious event, and very well organized and run. So congratulations to the admins and everything. Oh my god, it's an admin horse. I just seen an admin horse. High speed admin horse. Want that admin horse. But sadly I don't get him. But yeah, so obviously our congratulations to the 33rd, the commanding officers, all the staff, and all the members of the regiment, and of course our thanks to every regiment that attended this event, and every regiment that makes Napoleonic Wars so much fun. So we're going to sign off. I hope you've enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you for more soon. Take care.